believe it should be good. There we go. All right, guys. Let me quickly send this over to Telegram. Okay. I am not live trading, but whatever, we'll let it run. Okay, so that's good. Let me just open up the chart. Okay. So it has been a very long time since we last did this. Let me know if you guys can hear me perfectly, and then we'll go ahead and start. I want to talk about, you know, the current market condition and the next few levels that we're going to be paying attention to. I will quickly analyze some stuff that you guys want me to analyze. First come, first serve. I'm not trying to spend too much time on here, of course, given the fact that, you know, this could be a long time as we go. Hey, Nicola. So yeah, if you guys can hear me, just give me, you know, like a quick thumbs up. Yes. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay. So it's been a long time, you know. The last time I think we did this was, man, it's probably been a few months since we last did this. And honestly, it's just, I've just been really busy. It's not that I don't want to do these. I've just been super busy. And then it gets a little hectic, like time-wise, right? Then we're like, we enter a trade and blah, blah, blah. And then things go south. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So, hey, thank you guys. Thank you so much for the kind messages about the wedding. The wedding was fun. It was good. So, but yeah, I want to talk about Bitcoin real quick and Ethereum, but let's start off with Ethereum because I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, okay, what's exactly happening? So on ETH, you can see that, you know, when I sent the message over here on the break of 1587, I mentioned that the bottom of the wick is going to be around the 1539 level, which of course is right here, or sorry, 1531. That's the bottom of the move set. You can see that we were completely oversold. For some reason, TradingView screwed up the indicators and now they want me to pay, but I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not doing that. So let's just assume you can see it. RSI was in extreme oversold conditions, which I can just tell from the chart because right here, you know, from the exponential moving averages, we were pretty over leveraged to begin with. So what I'm expecting, of course, other than the fact that it's a weekend and we don't really see that volume, for some reason, we are starting to see a breakdown formation of Ethereum. My overall target on ETH has remained to be at 1518. I really hope you guys can see this. I know it's a larger monitor, so what I'm going to try to do my best is try to zoom in for you guys as close as I can. But so as you guys can see, 1518 has quite a bit of confluence. Looking at previous price analysis, you can see quite a bit of levels being hit here, right? So you can see that we've multiple retest opportunities. Look at how many times we've seen that retest. But once we end up breaking 1518, that is the capitulation wicks that I talk about. Look at that drop, guys, from 1518 all the way down into the 1370 region. And guys, this isn't the daily chart. This is the 4-hour chart, right? This happened in one day. This huge drop happened in one day. And you're probably like, oh, well, that's just one thing. It never happened again. Look at this one right here. We had the same exact 3-step pattern upwards, right? We've seen this happen before where Ethereum does something like this. But look at the level where the capitulation originally started from. It was at 1518 on the weekly. We saw that break and then huge capitulation move once again. Same thing all the way towards the downside, entering into the $1,000 region. Once again, guys, this wasn't the daily. This was a 4-hour move. This was a 3-time move. I can show you another example right here again. Regardless whether this was FTX, I'm sure some of you guys might think, oh, well, that was FTX. Well, okay, what happened here? Right? Same thing. Same move towards the downside. And this is why I put so much emphasis on 1518 is because once that weekly target ends up breaking, we see a massive capitulation move. And this is something I wanted to talk to you guys for a long time now, is I've noticed a lot of you guys messaging me on Telegram. Once again, that's probably the best way to reach me is Telegram. And you're always like, oh, okay, so I entered here. What happens now? Where should I exit? Where should I enter? Should I enter here? And then you guys don't enter, and then the move happens, and then you enter at the bottom because you're like, oh, well, okay. And then you always get stopped out or wrecked or whatever, right? So I wanted to quickly talk about that. The best thing as a beginner or anything that you can do is just open a market order and just understand that the levels are going to end up playing sooner or later. If you try to catch the few dollars towards the upside, you know, for example, let's say 1587 retest here, right? Like I mentioned earlier this morning that we're going to see a possible pullback. and you were waiting for, like, you want it to be exactly on 15.99 and then you wanted to enter the trade. But look, it never really tested that level, right? It got to 15.97 and then we saw the nuke. The best thing to do in that certain situation is ignore the few dollars, unless you're obviously 50x or 80x, which I don't suggest to begin with. But if you're on like a 10x, 5x, 7x, whatever leverage, then realistically, you don't need to care about the few dollar moves, because you're trying to play the overall move set. And the overall move set is, of course, the bearish move, right? When we have these massive swing positions, even if you entered, for example, a 1639 or 1631, does it really matter if now we're sitting at 1570 or 1550? Like, that's still a huge profit gain, right? And that's why I always tell you guys, like, you're much better doing that position than doing vice versa, right? Like, you're not, I know it's hard, and as a beginner I've been there as well, hoping that the position sizing, of course, and you want to be accurate and you want to be disciplined. But when it comes down to crypto and the volatility, you want to be very careful too, right? You don't want to miss these move sets just because that you're trying to be disciplined over a few dollars. And that goes the same for take profits as well. There's been so many times where you guys will send me positions and you'll be like, hey man, like, I'm in this trade, I'm up 47%, when should I close? It's like, dude, like, you're up 47%, why are you not closing that position? You guys know me, you guys know my trading style. I am so strict about like the 5% trades. Like, you guys see me when I'm swinging, I take 5%. I don't care if the market goes another 30%. To me, I'm taking that 5% because nothing is guaranteed, right? Whether or not that move set hits, like, I'm sure a lot of traders right now, they were hoping for 1518 to be hit, and guess what? All those traders probably got trapped at 1547, and now they're seeing that pullback. And the same traders that maybe entered on 1560 when I mentioned on that break, if they didn't exit on that wick at 1543, now they're underwater. This is why I always recommend, like so many times, guys, if you're up profit, like, it's never going to hurt you to take your profits. If the moveset continues to happen and then you have regrets, that's fine. That's a learning experience for you, where you're like, okay, well, maybe I could have held it longer. Maybe could have put trailing stops, whatever. But realistically, guys, if you continue taking profits on the long-term scale, you're going to be profitable, from your account size. And that's how you grow these small accounts. For those that are swinging with a lot more, I guess, size, realistically, you exiting at 1550 versus 1535, it's not the end of the world. You still caught a bunch of money, right? And that's where, like, the greed aspect comes from. So just, I want to quickly point that out. There's like a few of you guys listening, so I just wanted to say that. But yeah, I'm just gonna quickly read the chat now. I just want to talk about Ethereum, and like I said, just explain that 1518 mindset where, if that level is, of course, broken, I want everyone to understand that that is going to be a massive shorting position. Regardless if the market does end up playing and we see maybe a 1518 and then a small bounce like this, it's still, if we get that initial break on 1518, guys, enter those shorts. I have shown you guys this so many times. Look at how many times we've seen that capitulation on 1518. It is going to be a very profitable trade, and we are very close to ending up hitting those zones. So just keep that in mind as you guys are trading. So I'm just going to quickly read the chat now. Okay, cool. So thank you guys so much for the congrats here. You should do more ETH post than BTC. I only mainly talk about Ethereum, surprisingly. Bitcoin I've started to recently do because I've completely shafted out Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily talk about Bitcoin too much because we're not seeing the same volatility on Bitcoin versus Ethereum. Like, I'm still focusing on 26.8 on Bitcoin. Like, even throughout this little weekend manipulation we saw, we're still trading below this area of resistance. And if we do end up seeing the same break formation, we can see we've already broken the EMAs. Most likely now we'll see a retest of the EMAs, but I'm still extremely bearish on Bitcoin. I don't see a reason to be bullish unless we can, of course, try to break above 29.2 and hold it as support without that manipulation, right? Like, what I'm looking for is a slow move towards the upside as we hit these resistance levels and use them as support. I don't want to see something like this with Fed news or any sort of news at ETF or anything like that, because any news related move like this is always manipulated and we always end up getting absolutely wrecked. You can see, like, every time we had these huge moves towards the upside, they almost always were retraced, guys. Look how Bitcoin plays out, right? We saw the same thing over here. I believe this was the FOMC news right here. The same manipulation candle. I'll zoom in for you guys so you can see. But the same manipulation where I had text right here. Look at this candle, just straight up. And then guess what happened? The BART formation immediately right back down. That's why I don't consider anything of a bull run just yet. All of these move sets we've been seeing on Bitcoin have not ended well, right? And I sent the message right now to you guys, like, look at this manipulation right here at 19.5. This was a massive squeeze, right? A massive move towards the upside without any sort of pullback. Realistically, guys, there is a ton of liquidity trapped within this range right here at 23 and 22,000 for Bitcoin, a ton. And if we end up breaking 25.2, just like Ethereum at 1518, this is going to be a nasty drop, And that's where you guys want to really emphasize your trading positions, or of course end up swinging from these areas. Even from a swinging standpoint, you can enter a swing position here that we are currently trading at. Have your stops above 29.2, because if we are going to be seeing a manipulation move, it's probably going to be something like this. So anything above that zone, and for stop losses, you should be okay, right? If you can try to swing that position. Me personally, I would much rather enter on the break of 27.5 in the retest, like something like this. I'd be more comfortable entering at, but again, everyone's different for their trading perspectives, right? When you say swinging, do you mean a longer term or lower leverage? Yes, exactly. Swing position means longer term. So what I'm looking at is when I'm swinging is I am looking for the next few weeks or the next few months. It's not about position sizing. If of course you do have quite a bit of position sizing, then that's great. But for those of you that don't, swing positions usually mean a longer period of time. So what is the color coding you use for your levels? Are different colors different time frames, Maurice? So yeah, so not really necessarily. I guess, I don't know. I just kind of just kind of put lines everywhere. But red usually is the ones you guys see. White and light blue are my weeklies. Well, sorry, not my white. My blues are my weeklies. My whites are just random. Like if a huge volatility period happens and I want to put like intraday, I'll quickly put my white lines down. So you can see like my white doesn't exactly hit perfectly, but it just kind of shows me as the moveset was happening, we have these random resistance points, and that's where I'll end up putting my white zone. But yeah, so you guys can copy my lines. I've sent them to you guys so many times before as well. So you guys are welcome to copy all of the lines for those. And for Ethereum, like I said, I haven't necessarily changed my lines for a very long time because they end up working perfectly, so there's no reason to change them. But yeah, any other questions, guys? Like I said, it's just gonna be a quick little live session. It's just been a while since we've done this. I didn't really see myself on here for the whole day, but I just wanted to quickly I really wanted to just kind of get that 1518 point across so that you guys understand. It is going to be recorded, so you guys can watch it on your own time or whenever, so you guys can see what I was talking about and just kind of go from there. But anything else? Are you overall bearish for the next 2 to 3 months? Yes, definitely. I'm not bullish, and I haven't been bullish in a very long time. People message me and they laugh and they say like, oh, like, when are you ever going to be bullish? And it's like, it's not that I've never not been bullish. You guys remember the 1421 scenario A, for those of you that are new, but we were very bullish at 1421, and we ended up playing this moveset perfectly. You guys can go in my live sessions and watch too. Like, we traded this whole moveset live, and we made a ton of money. There's times when I am bullish, but right now there's no reason to be bullish, guys. Like, this chart is not bullish to me, unless even on the daily time frame for Ethereum, even if we're trading on the exponential moving averages, like using them as support, we're not. Every time we see a break, it's immediately nuked. Look at this, like immediately nuked. So what's the reason to be bullish, right? When the trend is pushing towards the downside, that's the only time I would be looking for the trend, right? I'm not looking for a long-term perspective as of right now. My long-term buy opportunities, of course, you guys know, is down here at $723 Ethereum. That's where I'm going to be buying Ethereum, a lot of Ethereum, right? Like, that's the main level. And before anyone says, well, it's never going to happen, you got to understand, when we had the initial bull run back in 2021, 2022, that's the level that was tested, guys. Look at this. We hit that level on 723, and then we started that bull run. This has quite a bit of confluence on it. You want to talk about 2018? I was part of the 2018 bear market and bull market for 2017 as well. Guess where the market hit? Look at this, 723. We saw the same level being used as support, then switched to resistance. Then we had a massive bear market and a boring cycle, right? I was part of this whole thing. I can tell you guys, I was entering those $80 positions on Ethereum as well, and the same market level hit, right? So this is what I'm saying. You got to be very, very careful here. And this is the point of my, like, when I say like, there's always going to be opportunities, is, guys, look at the period this consolidation was. This was dead. December 18th, right? Or sorry, December 2018, all the way till basically July 2020, almost 2 years of just nothing. Like, literally nothing. Like, we were in this huge consolidation zone. Looking at Ethereum right now, does this really look like the same, you know, area of opportunity? Not necessarily, and this is why, like, I've been very, like, bearish, right? Unless we can finally get into, like, maybe the $1,700 range and then find a consolidation zone, like a boring thing. And that's what I'm thinking is going to happen for the next year, at least till end of 2024, where we just have that consolidation for a while and then the massive bull run, right? Or at least we can hope for, depending on economics and whatnot. But I don't really care about that. I just look at technical analysis, but that's going to be a main area of a zone, right? You can see Ethereum had a very nice consolidation here from $1,000 to around the $1,200 for about, you know, just about 6-7 months. But again, that level has to be tested in my books at 723 for us to see anything. Because of the fact that there is a ton of confluence, a ton of liquidity trapped within that range. When you guys ask me, hey, is that the level, you know, that where you're going to be looking to buy? When that's the level for me is 723. Does that mean I'm going to be sitting there on the sidelines waiting for 723? No, not necessarily. If we continue seeing these capitulation wicks into the 1200, 1100, guys, it doesn't matter. To me, it's like whatever. Like, I'll put money down at the $1,100, $900 Ethereum, because that's still a great long-term buy opportunity, right? Like, and that's what I always told people at $80 Ethereum. They're like, no, I'm gonna wait for $60 or $50. I'm like, well, in 3 years, does it really matter if you're buying at $50 or $80? If Ethereum, and you know, that's exactly what happened, right? Ethereum went to around the 3,900, 4,100 level. Like, those guys made a ton of money. They didn't care. And that's exactly my point, is you want to get to that standpoint where it doesn't really matter, right? But like, just for, if you're trading with size, that's the only time it does matter. And for me, I'm not buying here. Like, I have enough Ethereum for the long term, but I'm not going to be leveraging and opening those massive swing positions anywhere here. It'll probably be down here somewhere. But yeah. Can you share over the chart? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Let's see. Could the Ethereum retrace to the $1,600 level? Yeah, it definitely can. I mean, like, we are in that bearish standpoint, of course, but regardless, we're trading on weekend volume, which we have to be very careful about. We are in extreme oversold conditions, and I did mention that to you guys as well. Like, I would be waiting for a pullback. We got the wick now, so most likely what's going to happen now is we're still 2 hours away. It's still a little too early to say for a pullback. That doesn't mean start entering these long positions. I would not enter any sort of long until 1518, and even that with very tight stop losses, because if there's going to be a bounce, it's going to be on the weekly time frame. Right now, the only bounce we're going to get is the fact that we're extremely oversold. And keep this in mind as well, is we haven't hit the bottom of the move set just yet. Wicks are very important when you have these capitulation moves. So this is the bottom of the move set right here at 1530. That's the level you want to enter. And of course, if you are looking for a scalp, if that's what you're asking. But if you're looking to re-enter a trade, then at least wait for the exponential moving averages to hit. We could hit around 1599 or 1600. But again, nothing's guaranteed when you are having a free-for-all opportunity like this. So just keep that in mind. Would you define what a break is? Yeah, so a break formation is like, a break is this, right? So a break is when you have 1587 for this support, and then we see a break. So what a break means is like this huge move set with volume. So usually with breaks, a better way to put it is, if you can see this chart right here, you have a few wick opportunities, right? So you can see right here, we have 2 wicks around the 1573. We have a wick around 1571, 1565, around 1576. So what I usually do is, in my mindset, is I look for the most amount of wicks that we can find on a chart when we have a midterm support. This is what we call a midterm support. So just like random support lines where we see a bounce. What I look for a break is once we get that break. So let's say this was the area of confluence I looked at 1560 when I messaged you guys. If we get a break below 1560, just enter. So as soon as we entered at 1560 and then we saw volume starting to kick in and a break formation, that's when you pretty much enter the short. Your exit would have been right here at the bottom of the move set. We see breaks all over the place, right? So it's just like a break of resistance, a break of support. That's basically what I mean by that. No, capitulation is just pretty much panic and overselling. Like, that's pretty much what capitulation is. And it always tends to happen on weekly time frames. So it's just a huge amount of selling that happens or occurs and just panic in the market. And it usually happens on a 4-hour period. So like, you know, you see these massive red candles. We don't really see this sort of volume happen quite a bit. But this is what capitulation looks like, right? Like, the market's already extremely oversold, and then we continue just seeing sell pressure come into the market. Always, always, always happens on weekly. This is what capitulation also looks like, right? So look at this. over in 1518, and then within 2 days we were trading down here at $1,000. Like, guys, that's a huge drop even for Ethereum, and a very life-term opportunity for, of course, profit. So just something to keep in mind as you guys trade. Thank you. Okay, is everyone okay? Like, are we all caught up now in terms of the live session? Everyone knows what to look out for, of course. I know I try to make it as detailed as I can in Telegram, but and I try to send voice messages whenever I can, but I know live session. So yeah, just, you know, this is, guys, everyone you're seeing here saying hi and whatever, these are the people that trade. Usually, like I said, we pull 30 to 40. I know it was last minute, and of course it is Thanksgiving, and in the States it's some sort of holiday too, so I know not a lot of people can make it, but I get the question a lot, like, hey, open the chat, I want to talk to people. And like, realistically, it's not a Discord server, and to me, I think it's a lot more organized if we just normally do it as like the way we do it, because then there's a lot of times people will miss messages or miss trades because there's so many messages, and I think that, you know, that goes a long way. Maybe in the future, like, I'll open a separate channel where you guys can just converse amongst each other, but right now it just doesn't make sense. As well as, of course, I wanted to quickly point this out. A lot of you guys have been messaging me like, hey, you know, what exchange are you using, blah, blah. Guys, we use Fairdesk. The reason I push Fairdesk so much is because everyone gets VIP, right? All the subscribers get VIP automatically. And my trading style is scalping and intraday. If you're on Binance, you're on KuCoin, you're on whatever, your fees are absolutely insane. So that's why I always recommend at least looking into Fairdesk, because the trading style is completely different. And the way we trade is we're in and out of the market extremely fast, multiple times a day. And we're able to make a ton of profits because Fairdesk barely takes any fees from us, right? So that's why I recommend, just something to keep that in mind. So thank you. Okay. Cool. Everything good? All right, guys, I'm going to end it off here. Again, so the best way to reach me, Telegram, Pengu Charts Official, I think is my tag or whatever. Hit me up on Telegram. I know, Ben, I know you're here too, and you've been trying to reach me. So just, again, hit me up on there. I will reply immediately. It's a lot better for me. I don't know why I never sent that to you guys. I have no idea. I really don't know why. But now you guys have my contact. At least you guys can contact me on Telegram. And then, you know, if you need help with trades, if you need help with lines, if you need help with plotting anything, we can go from there. I might not always be able to reply extremely fast because of the amount of DMs I get, but I will get to you within the day. So that works out. Can you talk about BNB? I am shorting it. I can quickly analyze it for you for BNB. Like I said, for altcoins, I don't really look at them too much. Usually I just go off what Ethereum says. So if Ethereum, of course, is collapsing, then we already know what we're looking at. So you can see, I don't have to do anything really here. Like, we already have our lines. So 216 was a major resistance, which was a major support now. For BNB, if we see a break of a midterm support, bottom of moveset is around 183. If we get any break of 183, damn, this chart is huge. Yeah, you're in a pretty decent position, to be honest, but I would start looking to scale out once you hit into the 185, 183 zone. Like, here, I'll quickly draw this out for you, but you can see on the horizontal ray as well, like, all you do is just look for confluence, right, when you're analyzing something like this. So look, I just drew that line. We can see that we have quite a bit of confluence here. We have a wick here, we have a wick here, and this level acted as resistance as well. That is a perfect zone for you to start looking to take some profits, is around the 184, 183 zone. For your stop loss, you want to place your stop loss anywhere above 216. That is a major level of resistance. And you can see if we do end up seeing a break above, it usually ends up being too high. You don't want to enter that trade and hold it. So exit around 217, 218, right above that resistance line. And of course, just enjoy the trade. Right now, we're seeing a break formation on the midterm of 203. So even in terms of wicks, you're kind of on support right now. So like, I would obviously suggest starting to look to take some profits. But if we do get that crash, like we are expecting on Ethereum to 1518, we will most likely retest at 184. So if you're swinging, that's a perfect level for you. If you're scalping, start looking to take some profits because we have already hit that wick low. And you know, you get the rest. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So we're good. I'm just going to wait for the yes from the messages, and then we go from there. I think we're good. Okay, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. It's been nice talking to you guys and seeing all the familiar names again. Yeah, I'll try to do these as much as I can, to be honest. It's just my schedule is so hard, but I try, like I said, I keep the Telegram posted with everything. Every few minutes or every hour, whenever something happens, I will message Telegram first. So if you guys aren't in Telegram, make sure to check out the Telegram, because that's pretty much where everything happens for us, at least. But yeah, okay. All right, guys, that's it. Have a good day, and we'll talk. Ciao.